Thank you.
My Lords, I'd like to thank the Noble Lord Foster of Bath for tabling this debate on reducing gambling harm among young people, and that sounds admirable. But hot on the heels of the Academy of Ideas World Cup sweepstake, organised by one of our young team, Jake Weston, an enthusiastic gambler himself, I want to appeal for perspective. A reminder, for the vast majority of people across all age groups, gambling is harmless. As Culture Secretary Lisa Nandy has noted, it can bring joy to millions of people who enjoy a regular flutter. So many get their pleasure in honing their skills in working out and hopefully beating the odds. Others just enjoy the thrill and challenge of taking a risk. Often the sort of instincts we actually want to encourage, for example, in would-be entrepreneurs. Yet too often in debates in this chamber, we discuss the legal, legitimate leisure activity as though it inevitably leads to ruin, unfairly characterised as toxic, pathologised as addictive, a threatening destroyer of individuals and family life. I thought of all this when watching a lovely clip of football icon, and in my opinion the real King of the North, Kevin Keegan, a filmed interview doing the rounds since his sad death. Kevin movingly recalled how his dad used to back the horses regularly, just like most miners at the time. One year, he won a few quid on the Grand National and used all the money to buy his young football-obsessed son some second-hand football boots, an act of fatherly love and generosity paid for by his hobby and not some sordid, dodgy, selfish activity. So will the noble lady, the Minister, reassure us that the government will avoid policies that purport to protect the young, but in reality are a Puritan Trojan horse for a prohibition that unfairly demonises gambling per se? Don't get me wrong, I know from personal experience how out-of-control gambling can bring misery. But we need to be honest, this is a small minority. Acknowledging this will allow bespoke policies that target real problems rather than a blanket culture of disapproval or a catch-all of ineffective, excessive state intervention into people's private choices. We also need to interrogate some of the data and terminology that can misleadingly suggest this is a growing problem. We aren't helped by the fact that there isn't a single data set that measures problem gambling amongst young people. There isn't even clarity about our definition of young people. In gambling-related law, young people can refer to adults between the ages of 18 to 25 who can legally gamble with licensed operators but with age-targeted restrictions, and then there's under 18s defined as children who are prohibited from gambling in that way. This can be confusing. For example, having two categories of adult, the 18 to 24-year-olds or 25 and over. Apart from anything else, are we in danger of infantilising young adults who we otherwise expect to be responsible grown-ups? The prospect of 16-year-olds being considered adult enough to vote won't help this muddle. Unfortunately, too many commentators in gambling have developed the bad habit of using the phrase young people to cover under 18s and the under 25 category. Regardless, what does the data show? According to the NHS's Health Survey of England, confusingly using the age range 16 to 24, that shows that problem gambling rates fell from 1% in 2018 to 0.5% in 2024. So why is this age group a focus of special concern? Or are we really worried about gambling by children, especially when it's stated as fact that 80,000 children suffer from gambling harms? Except that that number, 80,000, is extrapolated from 25 children, yes, 25, who were classified as problem gamblers in the 2023 Young People's Gambling Survey of school children. To note, harm is classified to a hugely lower threshold than post-18s. So what's labelled harmful gambling and has been described as addiction here, for those 25 children should make us pause before we panic. 2/3 self-report playing amusement games like Crane Grab at seaside arcades. Shock horror. One half are called problem gamblers because they place bets with friends and family, 40% for playing cards with mates and siblings, or occasionally buying lottery products such as scratch cards. And what constitutes illegal gambling for children is even more banal. If kids bet using pocket money or school lunch money, it's against the law, even if spent on forms of gambling that are legal. Counterintuitively, even the pantomime villain online gambling has one of the lowest rates of participation in this age group. And so, as an antidote to those who are oversimplistic on the stats, these people who are gambling online, those children, is largely accessed by adult parents, allowing their children to use their online gambling account. To conclude, yes, let's tell the kids some home truths about the pitfalls of gambling, but don't let's scaremonger them, and don't let's scaremonger ourselves in this House.